Okay, so you are all very welcome to the 2021 hustings for the SU Executive. And the YouTube stream runs about 9-10 seconds behind. So if anybody is trying to watch on both, you just be slightly behind. Okay. Thanks to everybody for joining us today. Glad to see people could come and watch and learn about the candidates and their plans for that's just my phone falling off the table, their plans for the years ahead and their term if they get into office as well. So we're going to have speeches. Sorry, this is obviously a little bit strange. We're used to doing this live in the Kelly Theatre, and so hopefully this will all work technology-wise, although in fairness we've been testing it and it should be okay. We're going to have speeches from each of the candidates. The sabbatical officers, which is the vice president and president roles, all those candidates get 5 minutes to speak, and then the part-time roles, which is clubs and socks, and communications, all get 3 minutes to speak, and then we'll do questions at the end as well. Just for your candidates, just to remind you as well, I'm going to bring you all in one by one. We'll set you up, make sure we can hear you okay, make sure your sound is okay, and then I'll start your timer. And when you've got 1 minute left, so for those sabbatical officers, when you're 4 minutes in, you got 1 minute left, you'll hear this sound, and you'll hear the same sound then when your time is up as well. So you'll have a 1 minute reminder for the end, and then when your time is up as well. Okay, and then I'll come back on screen and cut you off if you keep talking. All right. Okay, so I'm going to bring Connor in first of all. Hi, Connor. Can you hear us okay?
Hey there. I'm good. How are you?
Perfect. I'm good, thank you. And we can hear you okay as well. So, Connor, are you ready to go?
I am ready to go. I wasn't expecting to go first, so here we are, I suppose.
Okay, yeah. Here we are. Oh, well, now that we've surprised you, I'll give you another minute to compose yourself if you want. Are you happy enough? You're a pro at this stage, anyway.
Well, they say, but it's up for debate at this point, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Well, Connor, I'm going to just give you the full screen view now, so everybody can see you in full screen mode there. Now, I'm going to stop talking for once, as you. And I'm going to give you your 5 minutes. So you'll have a minute, just a reminder, you'll have the bell will go off at the 4 minute mark. So just remind you, you have 1 minute left, and then at the end. Is that okay?
Sounds good, Derek.
Okay, great. Connor, take it away. Your time starts now.
Okay, guys. Hey, everyone. I hope you're all well, as you can be at this time. So my name is Connor O'Reilly, and at least today, or at least for the next 5 minutes, so I want to tell you about my vision for the Students' Union if I'm elected. I want you to understand this the way I understand it. I'm not going to go into my manifesto in great detail here because I believe it speaks for itself. I've always been a firm believer in the concept that you're going to be electing people, not manifestos. So I hope today, from myself and the other candidates, you get a better sense of each of our characters, because that's what's most important and will define the union's future successes or failures. When I started in NCI, I had never even heard of a students' union, never mind understood what it is. I had only one thing in my mind, that was to get a degree. That went well. Today, I am proud to say that I've served this union for 3 years. 2 years as club and socks officer, and 1 year as vice president, or most of the year. You've given me the privilege of representing you each time I ask you the question, 3 times now. In this time, I've learned more than I could begin to imagine, and with your permission, I'll make that a 4th time. When I started in the union, I thought I'd never been so motivated to work at something before. You give me a huge honor, and my only thought was, how could I ever repay this enormous task I've been given? I worked and committed so much to repaying this faith you showed me. Maybe a little too much at times, but we won't go there. I thought then that I knew everything there was to know about a union when I was first elected in 2018. I thought I understood what it meant to be a union officer. 3 years on, looking back, I know now that I knew absolutely nothing. The only thing I understood less was how to use NCI 360. Today, I'm proud of my time in NCISU. Every single up, every single down. They all made me who I am today. I'm not a perfect officer. I'm not even close. I never will be. I don't ever want to be. I don't even want to be a perfect president. I just want to be one you'll all be proud of. To my fellow candidates, I promise you now, regardless of who our students choose to elect next week, if I am elected, it is my promise to each and every one of you that I will give everything I can to help you succeed as officers. Your success means as much to me as anything else I could ever do as president, just as it did to the presidents I had the honor of working with. How can I do this, you might ask? I've made enough mistakes as an officer to write a book to put in our lovely library. Not that anyone would want to read it, or maybe. But what separates me from others, in my opinion, in my time in NCI, is my capacity to constantly learn, grow, and adapt from every mistake. to get better each and every day I work for you. And I intend on giving all these experiences and all this knowledge back to where it belongs, to our future officers and all those who are elected. After 3 years of this learning, 3 years of hard work, I can confidently say that I'm now ready to be your Students' Union President. I have learned day by day from some of the most incredible people and officers this college will ever have, both past and present. They all know who they are. I don't need to say their names. I know where we've been as a union. I know where we currently are. But most importantly for you, I know where we need to go next. I can't let this moment pass without asking you, please, regardless of your choice of candidates, please vote yes to the new constitution. It will help the union and in turn you and your college experience in more ways than this little time limit Derek has set me will ever allow me to explain. Its impact will travel farther than any single officer term ever could. And I promise if you make me your president, it will be implemented with utmost capacity. I want your union to be strong, unified, and welcoming. I want your union to be able to represent students at the highest level possible as a proud organisation, to be robust enough to fight your corner, but also open enough to welcome that shy first year walking in the doors, just like it once did for me. If I was president, this is true. The gravity of matters may grow for me, the scope of my undertakings, but I will never lose sight of what's really important, all of you. If I can make a difference for even one person, if I can make one person enjoy their time in NCI, even half of the way I did, then all this work I've done will have been worthwhile, and I can one day leave a proud man. Only vote for me next week if you believe I'm the best candidate. Only vote for me if you trust me. Only vote for me if you believe me when I say I'll do everything I can to make NCI a better place for you all. I believe that regardless of anything else you may feel, when you look at this objectively, you all know deep down I am the best person for this job. I've never let you down before, and I can promise you, I sure as hell won't start now. Gurmila Motaga Mokarja.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Connor. Okay, all done. Still got a minute left. You want to keep going?
No,
Okay,
I wanted to. I thought I got points, so I didn't want to put it too tight again, like I have in previous years.
No worries. Okay, thanks very much, Connor. So Connor obviously is running unopposed for president, so there's no other candidates to bring in for presidential role. So that's the presidential role. Speech is over. So now we're going to move on to the vice president role, and I'm going to bring in Owen Healy. So Owen, can you hear me? Okay.
Hi Derek, how are you?
Good man. I'm good. Thank you very much. I can hear you great. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Owen, you have 4 minutes as well as Connor. Sorry, 5 minutes as well as Connor did. You get your reminder. Sorry, yeah, you'll get your reminder there at the 4 minute mark, and again at the end as well. Okay.
No problem at all.
Okay, so Owen, take it away there. Your timer starts now.
I want to say hello to everyone that has tuned in. Thank you so much for coming to the hustings today. And I know it's very weird that it's all online, but with the pandemic, we have to make do what we have to do. So firstly, let me just introduce myself. For the people that don't know me, my name is Owen Healy, and I'm running to be the next vice president of the Student Union. I've held positions of president and vice president of different clubs and societies over my many years as a student in NCI. I've also been a student leader as well. 2 years ago, I also ran to be the entertainment officer, and with these roles, it's kind of encouraged me to run to be the next vice president. And it just seems like this is the right next step for me. I'm here today I'm going to give you the reasons why you should vote for me to be your next vice president. I would like to speak to you about why you should vote for me. And I hope you all had a chance to read my manifesto or even see the little series I did on Instagram where I broke down each point individually and went into detail about that. But if you haven't, I'm going to give myself a cheeky little plug on Instagram, Owen for VP. You can catch it there. It's all up there. So if you have any questions as well about that, you can come ask me today. But today I want to take this opportunity to speak to you about myself personally and why I would be the best person to represent you as your next vice president of the Student Union. When I first came to NCI, I was a shy young lad and I didn't really know anyone, but had this mentality that this was a new challenge for me. And I wanted to challenge myself to get involved and meet new people. I did this by joining different societies and clubs, and I later went on to do join the entertainment crew. This led to me making all new friends and led to me becoming less shy as well, which is very beneficial, if I must add. I went on to run for the entertainment officer role, which really helped me become the bubbly and positive guy, that I am now, which I feel like you need to be for this role. For me, I feel like the vice president needs to be a positive and approachable person. Two traits that I feel that I have developed a lot during my involvement in NCI. I've given this role a great thought about this role over the last several months. And I've asked myself why I wanted to run to be the next vice president of the student union. And on reflecting on this, on my time as a student, I have struggled a lot, and I've had so many different ups and downs when it comes to being a student and stuff. And just I've been in so many difficult situations as well in my college life. So basically, I want to be, and I had to seek help on these occasions. So if I'm elected to be the next welfare and equality officer, I will attempt to ensure that all support necessary for any student, it's there, that if they're struggling, that these supports are going to be there for them. And the students are fully aware of where they can find these supports and how they can get these supports for any situation they may be struggling with. I'm just going to talk about myself because I just think people should realize who I am. And I really love helping people. I really, really love helping people. And I love being the voice for others as well. You can see this through my involvement in the different roles that I've done in my time as a student as well. So voting for me to be your next vice president of the student union, I can guarantee you 1000% I will use my voice, my personality, and my positivity to represent and to support you, the amazing student body of NCI. That's pretty much me done. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Great, thanks, Owen. You guys are making my job so easy. I don't have to cut off anybody today. That's great. Okay, Owen, thank you very much. I'm going to remembering how to do this now. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Okay, that's great. Thank you very much, Owen. So the second candidate for vice president is Jennifer Treadwell. Jennifer, I'm going to bring you in there. Hi, you can hear us okay?
Yeah,
brilliant. Brilliant. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we kind of do it. I'm just going to give you the full layout, then you can see the camera's a little bit easier to see there. Okay, great. So Jennifer, when you're ready there, we're going to start your timer.
Perfect. Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well, and I want to start by thanking you all so much for coming on. My name is Jennifer Treadwell, and I am currently running for the vice presidential role. So when making my manifesto, I wanted to be as realistic as possible, and I wanted to ensure that if I am elected vice president, that I can fulfill everything that I've promised. It was so important for me to ensure that these goals could be accomplished whether we're at home or in college. That's why it was so important that I wanted to change the immediate factors that NCI is currently lacking in. And I strongly believe that I am the right candidate with the right experience for this role. And I'm so passionate about change and about the student life. I've been a student leader for 2 years now, and I've participated in orientation days. I continued the role into my final and current year of college, in which I've helped to host learner pods and connect cafes. From this, I've been able to get a better insight into what students are currently experiencing and what they need. I've also been a class rep for 2 years, which has brought many challenges, whether it be getting an extension for the class on an assignment or getting extra support classes arranged. I've always given my 100% to my classmates and will continue to do so until my time is up in NCI. I never give up on my fellow classmates and students because what affects them affects me, and at the end of the day, we're all in this together. From these two great roles, I've gained so many connections in NCI. Being co-founder of the Irish Cultural Society has given me great connections within the international community and office as well. I've worked closely with Ellen to provide a culture workshop for these students, and we have also been involved in the International Fair, which was a great success. Unfortunately for us, the future is hard to predict with everything going on, but if elected vice president, I want to include study packages for all students around the exam season. These packages will include all the essentials and of course some food, because let's be real, who doesn't love a bit of food? I also want to include a little notepad in it, which will contain quotes that are encouraging and motivating for students to help them stay positive around exam season, as this is the toughest time of the year and when students feel the pressure the most. This will also contain some study tips for students as well, and it will act as a support guide to students. As for my welfare side, I'd like to create a welfare section on the NCISU website, which will contain mental health support and upcoming training and speakers. Many people with disabilities struggle socially and find that many of our events are not universally suitable to them, such as students with autism and sensory issues. This is why I want to give all clubs and SOCs presidents training in ensuring that all events are universally suitable, as many students struggle to find comfort in our events. By giving our presidents this training, it will allow for further engagement from all students. I'd like to do this through Universal Design, who help clubs and SOCs design their events to make them accessible for all students to attend and engage all students from different backgrounds. I also want to encourage more students to get involved with autism family initiative, which will help and encourage students to have a greater understanding of what it is like to be dealing with autism on a daily basis. Through this, I want to push for the executive suites to be used as a safe space for these students to go to. I want to hold events that essentially don't have a purpose or a title, but more of a hangout area where people can get to know each other and feel safe and comfortable with their surroundings. It is an opportunity for people with disabilities to link up with others. I would also like to offer students the chance to do an autism awareness training, which will equip students with the right skills and knowledge to help our students feel more included and involved. From speaking with the Learning and Teaching Office, I've learned that many students are experiencing loneliness and feel isolated at the moment. I want the Connect Cafes to have a bigger platform and offer them more support, whether this be providing snacks or ensuring that there is a safe and comfortable space for them to use. I want to provide this. The Connect Cafes are growing, but they just need an extra push and support from the student body and to fulfill their full potential. I want the international students to feel more at home here in NCI. And I want to do this by hosting more events in which they can show off their culture with either a cooking lesson on a traditional food or hosting a live lounge where traditional music can be heard. This will be accessible to all students and will be promoted through all platforms. As there are over 80 different cultures in NCI, I'd like to see these events on their national holidays so that NCI can help and get involved in bringing home to them. The international community holds up a big proportion of NCI and they are not celebrated and involved enough in events, and I want this to change. I want these students to take more of a grasp of the college life and to see that we are all one. My main objective is that I want to create a greater atmosphere where everyone is engaging and everyone is involved. I will never let you down, and I'd like to thank you again all for listening, and please vote Jennifer #1 for Vice President on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of March. Your voice and opinions matter so much and you need to be heard. Thanks, guys.
That's great. Thanks so much, Jennifer. Okay, so that's our 2 candidates for VP. So thanks very much, everybody so far who's spoken. Our next candidate, our next role that we're going to be talking about now is Clubs and Socks Officer. And we have two candidates for this. We have Naomi Halpin and Sean Halloran. So I'm going to bring in Naomi first of all. Naomi, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, it's okay. It's grand.
Great. Brilliant, and we can hear you, so that's perfect. Okay, so Naomi, you have 3 minutes and you will get your reminder 2 minutes in and then the bell will go again at the end. Is that okay?
Yeah, grand, no pressure.
Okay, no pressure at all. Okay, so your timer starts now.
Hi everyone, for those who don't know me, my name is Naomi Halpin. I'm a current HR student on an internship, and in case you haven't seen any of the SU videos, I am a Cavan girl, born and raised. So just a little bit about me. I am a previous class rep and society president. So I have experience in, running events and having to solve issues and handle anything that pops up unexpected. Look, we've all been there. We've all gotten those late night texts from students who are panicking about college assignments or just need a bit of a hand. So my position as Society's president last year is actually what has inspired me to run for Clubs and Socks this year. I just thought to myself, what would I have done to make my experience better or to make my members of my society, their time better, or what would I have changed? So that's actually where a lot of the ideas on my manifesto came from, like my off the month contest. So every month we'd have a new winner, and I just think this is something we really need in NCI. I know we have the ball, and look, everyone loves the ball. It was one time a year. It's this big, huge event, and it's so much fun. But I want to do more than just the ball. I want to make sure that every month everyone is getting recognized for the hard work we're putting into these societies and these clubs, because you guys deserve it. Another point that I'm really passionate about, it's something, again, we've absolutely never done this in NCI, is the mentoring program. This would have helped me so much looking back when I was society president. Anyone who's thinking of taking over society or being a society, this is going to be so good for you guys. Like, you're going to have a chance to explore being a president without making the commitment beforehand, because I know there's people that try to run society and sometimes they just can't do it and it's too hard, or they just don't have the time. And this is what that's for, is to make sure that you guys get the chance to explore it. I have so many ideas that I want to implement, but look, that's for you guys to check out my manifesto, which I'd love to see. And look, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to be the most fantastic, best clubs and stocks officer you're going to have, because I can't assure you that. But I can promise that I'm going to put every ounce of my soul and energy into making NCI's clubs and societies fantastic and supporting you guys no matter what, and making sure that you guys get the absolute best time out of your college experience here in NCI. So yeah, thanks.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Thanks, Naomi. Okay, our next candidate then up is Sean Hallahan. Sean, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, hello.
Great, we can hear you perfect. Okay, great, Sean. I'm just going to hand you over to you now, and your time starts now.
Okay, right. So, hello, my name is Sean Hallahan. I am a third year in computing right now, and I am where my experience comes from is class rep and being a part of the football team. So I've been class rep for 3 years now. Surprisingly, I've been voted in every year, so I must be doing something right. But and then I also have experience with the football team where I've gotten involved throughout, and I'm now a part of the committee. So I run the socials and I have a big say in how we run the team as a whole. So that's just a quick bit about me. There's more, you can find out more about me, but just for now, I want to focus on my manifesto and what I hope to bring. So yeah, so the main things in my manifesto, it's these kind of keywords I want to go over is diversity and inclusion, activity, and community. So when it comes down to diversity and inclusion, like diversity, it's representing like different identities of individuals in all across the college, and I want to get that across. So, and that comes into inclusion. They work hand in hand, which is all about involvement. So like I have, if you can imagine this, diversity is like you get invited to the party, you can go to the party, but then the inclusion part is actually you get onto the dance floor, you interact with people, you make friends, you move from there. So that's kind of where I want to come from that standpoint. Activity is basically promoting the activity of every club society president and vice president, keeping them on their toes, keeping the promises that they promised at the start of the year. They got people so excited to sign up. And then community is just a huge part, I think, of being inside a club or soc is that sense of community. So when I speak from personal experience, when you feel appreciated to be in that club, you feel you have a role, people want you there, people expect things from you. It just brings life to your whole college experience. So that is also something I would like to push. And actually, before I read some of my manifesto points, this 3 minutes could get me, but I just to kind of shout out to how difficult it's kind of been to final year students, the freshers. Like this has been so weird this whole year being online. So if I can bring into next year, if I'm in the role, just a very exciting time where everyone's delighted to get involved and there's opportunities for everyone, like a diverse and inclusive environment where everyone can get involved and be excited and be happy to finally be back in campus, that would be fantastic. So where I want to ensure this diversity and inclusion is through training days. So at the start of the year, clubs and society presidents and vice presidents are trained kind of on how to run the club. But during that day, I would like to get involved. If you can get a certificate for diversity and inclusive training, I've looked into it. There's an Irish Centre for Diversity that can run these programs, and I could run this for the students. So they're like they're educated on how they can be diverse and inclusivity. So, and then at the start of the year, so I would like to work with the clubs and society presidents to map out their activities like for the whole year and hold them accountable for what they say. So a way in which I could do this is a sort of protocol. So if club societies presidents aren't active, we can call them up on it, and I can tap them on the shoulder and say, right, I'm out of time.
You're out of time, I'm afraid. Yeah. And let you finish up the last sentence there.
Yeah. I was just going to say that we can make people accountable through a protocol where we can have repollings, get new presidents in, because at the end of the day, the clubs and society is all about the members, not just about the president. So, yeah, that's me. Cool. Okay. Thanks. Shout out to my team. Thanks for all the help throughout this whole thing. So, thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Thanks, and sorry to be cutting you off. Unfortunately, just running out of time a little bit there. But thanks for finishing up. Okay, so the next role we have is for communications, and there's only one person running for this role. So one candidate, which is Shifa Weir-Sharkey. So Shifa, hi, can you hear us? Okay, Shifa?
Hi, I can hear you perfect, Eric.
Great, we can hear you too. Brilliant. So I'm just going to hand over to you now, and Shifa, your time starts now.
Hi everyone, I just thought I'd introduce myself. My name is Shiva Sharkey. I'm a second year HRM student and I was also active class rep in my first year in NCI, and I'm currently the president of the NCI Dance Society. I know this is a bit of strange times and this is done in a bit of an odd way, but we kind of have to crack on and get through it. I basically just want to cover a few points on my manifesto. There's a bit of a lack towards intellectual students with disabilities, and this is something that I'm really, really passionate about. For someone who has an intellectual and an invisible disability, this is something that we really need to focus on. This is regarding posters. Most posters I can't read because they don't have a dyslexic friendly font or colour, and this is something that I really want to bring to the whole communications aspect of NCI. Also with this, I want to do videos for explaining events or certain posters with closed captions. This is for anyone with hearing or vision impairments. Also, I want to be a face of NCI SU. I don't want to be just someone behind a screen. I want to be there for you guys. I want to make sure that you know that you can approach me and that I'm accountable, approachable, and accessible to all needs, whether it's for part-time, full-time, postgraduate, international and mature students. This is really important because I feel the communication side of NCISU at the moment is very lacking, especially on all social media platforms. And we are missing some social media platforms that is quite crucial today and now in today's society, especially with everything being online. So this is something that I really want to change. I want to mix it up a little bit for the SU. I want to make sure that we have more sociability online and in person. By doing this, I want to introduce a day in the life of an SU member. I want to do weekly vlogs and Q&As. I want to make sure that I'm there for every club and society regarding posters. I feel there's a lack of advertising for club and society events, especially if it's in person or online. And this is something that we really need to change. I want to be a visible, approachable, and accountable person for all of you guys. And there definitely needs to be more engagement, and this is what I plan to do. So please consider me when you're voting for a communications officer, and I'll do the best I can, and I'll make sure everything is done correctly for you guys. And thank you, and vote for me.
Great, thanks so much, Shifra. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the final role we're covering today, which is the entertainment's role. Sorry, I forgot there for 2 seconds. Entertainment's role, and first person who's going to speak is Lorcan Mills. So Lorcan, I'm going to bring you in there. Can you hear us okay, Lorcan?
Hello. Can you? So yeah, can you hear us? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you okay. Okay, Lorcan, you ready to go?
Yeah, all good. Hi guys,
Right.
those that don't know my name is Lorcan Mills. I'm a second year computing student and I've been in NCI for 3 years. So you can try and figure out how I ended up doing that. Today I'm here to inform you that I'll be running for the role of ENTS officer, which I feel as though is a role I can excel in, as I've been in the ENTS crew for 3 years and have a lot of experience when it comes to events, and I've seen how they ran firsthand and also DJ'd at these said events. I also have a segment on Mark McCabe's radio show promoting Irish DJs and producers. I also run a nightlife page that promotes DJs and events promoters. Through this page, I've made plenty of contacts in this nightlife industry, and this is why I think I'm the best person for the role. I'm now going to talk about my manifesto. My fourth point, my manifestos have more variety and themes when it comes to events in NCI. I feel as though NCI has this similar routine of the same events every year, and I feel as though themes and variety will spice them up and make them more enjoyable for all. For example, Afro nights, Holly Festival, Brazilian reggaeton nights, 90s night, all that good stuff. My second point is the NCI alumni COVID discount. This is aimed for students who are finishing in NCI. So all you students who are missing out on all the good nights out because of COVID, you can come back to the college when the events are coming back and buy tickets at a 50% discount, because I will miss you all when you graduate. And hopefully this will make it possible for me to see all your lovely faces again at an NCI event. Moving on to my third point, having the ENTS crew reach its full potential. So what I mean by this is, when I'm forming the ENTS crew, not having students who just only sell tickets and clean up a bit at events, but having them be a part of the entertainment of the night. Singing, dancing, DJing, comedy, rapping, hype person, anything to do with entertaining students and just making sure they're having an overall good time. I want to make sure that the photo stock is also getting plenty of photos and videos of these events, because I feel as though we never have enough footage to show students how good our events really are. And one of my next point is for students to have a say in events. So to have monthly feedback from students to see how the events are going throughout the year, and also to improve on any ideas that they may have and have their voices heard. At the end of the day, these events are for you guys. So having your opinion is the best thing for when going forward and trying to have these events made for everyone. My final point is competitions are raffled. So have competitions for students to win tickets and prizes. And I feel as though this would be a great icebreaker for new students to get to know each other and make it much easier for everyone to get along. And to finish off, I just want to say in my 3 years of being an NCI, I've watched and worked with 3 different ENS officers, Dean, Wojtek and Kevin, 3 really good friends of mine, and I've learned so much from them over the 3 years. And from being an NCI, they'll tell you from day one, I've had an undying passion for events. And I hope you all give me the opportunity to show, so I can show you what I can do. I really appreciate it. Thank you for listening, and vote for Lorcan.
Great, thanks so much, Lorcan. And our last candidate then is Rosalind Bonner. So Rosalind's going to bring you in there. And there we go. Brilliant. Can you hear us okay, Rosalind?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Great, we can hear you. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So your time, are you ready to go? Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
So we've lost Rosalind there for a second. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Your time starts now. So Rosalind.
Cool. My name is Rosalind Bonner. I am originally from Donegal, but I've been living in Dublin for 3 years now. I'm in my 3rd year of computing, and I'm currently on my internship. I have worked with clubs in Dublin since I've came here. I've been a promoter for Tramline in my 2nd year of college, and I'm also the president of the Music Society at the minute. I just want to go through some of my points on my manifesto. One of my most important points that I'm so passionate about is that I want to create events with more diversity, meaning that I want to create events that both have cultural aspects, and that I can have international students feel comfortable coming to. I feel like there's a split, and in events like this, I feel like international students create events and Irish students do not attend these. I want to get rid of that stigma and have international students come to Irish events and events that ENS create. And I also want Irish people to be attending cultural events, if that makes sense. I also want to make a Twitch channel for entertainments in NCI. Obviously, with the current circumstances, we're in lockdown right now. We obviously don't know what's going to be happening when we do go back into college in the new year. But I want to make a Twitch channel and hold events there. Some of these events that I want to do are like fitness events, craft events, music events, and so on. I want to have the ENS crew like really involved in this. I want my ENS crew to be passionate about holding events, thinking of ideas, and being able to attend these events as well. Some things that I also want to add to the Twitch channel, I want to work closely with the Clubs and Stocks officer to give them the chance to use that Twitch channel as well to hold events. This will give the clubs and societies more publicity as we're showcasing them on our Instagram as well. And some theme nights I also want to have. I really want to make more nights, either if they are online or in person. I want to have more theme nights like ABBA nights, festival nights, and stuff like that with prizes. And I really do think I am suited for the job. Like, I've wanted to do this for a year or 2 years now, and I think that's all I have to say. But yeah, I really hope you think I am good for the job, and I'd love your vote in this. So yeah, I think I'm done.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's all our candidates. First of all, just want to say an absolutely massive well done in your speech there. It is very difficult to do, let alone do online, and with a new whole technical way of doing things. The guys using a specific live stream software today to do this, so they had to learn that very quickly in the last 24 hours as well. So, I mean, well done to all of you, and well done to all of you for your speeches as well. We're going to move on to questions now. So I'm going to move on to President questions first of all. So Connor, I'm going to bring you back in for a sec. Hello, you're back. So Connor, we have a question here for you. I'm going to give you one question, and you will have a minute to answer it. Okay.
Only one. Oh.
Only one. Okay. Well, I'll ask you, and you can decide then. Okay. So the question posed to you is: often manifestos have objectives which take over a year to complete. If elected, what is your one key priority for the year? Okay, so I'm going to just give you the full screen. Do you want me to read that again? Are you happy enough?
No, I'm happy enough. I start now?
Okay, yeah, you have a minute, so starting now, yeah.
Okay, I'll be straight with everyone. The reality is that when you bring your manifesto out, some of these things are going to take longer than a year. And unfortunately, when you are in the role of president or say vice president, a lot of the tasks you wish to tackle are going to take time because unfortunately, this is just the way of things. However, I will obviously try to get all those conversations started as much as I can to generate as much momentum as possible so that when the next person comes in, they can help you finish those things off if I was not able to finish those things off, which would of course be the priority. If I had to pick one priority, it would be to implement the Constitution to its fullest effect, because that's something that will stand the union in good stead and will actually give future unions the capacity to maybe get these things done a bit quicker. So if I can leave behind a legacy where future officers are able to get those things done quicker than previous officers could, that to me would be the main thing, because that will stand far longer than any single task ever could. So to me, that would be the main thing, to ensure our collective strength is reflected in the Constitution, and that in turn it enables us to achieve greater things in the future.
Great, thanks, Connor. You had 4 seconds left, just so you know. Very spot on. Sorry, there is actually a second question there for you. Apologize, I didn't see it there. So are you happy to take another question? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't be allowed to say no, am I? I wouldn't be allowed to say no.
Not really, no. But I'm dropping on you. Okay, so training union officers is mentioned in your manifesto. Could you elaborate on the type of training you plan to bring in? So you have a minute to answer that question. Go.
Yeah, so each individual officer, when they're elected, they'll receive a handover from the outgoing officer. A handover is essentially a document that goes through all the different tasks they'll be expected of, bit of experience, but essentially just giving them a brief of the role. When I say individual trainings, what essentially this means is that I would sit down with each of the incoming officers before their term starts, and I would essentially map out between a conversation between the two of us what trainings I think is relevant. Having met many other student union officers up and down the country from every college under the sun in this country, I can safely tell you that I've identified several key trainings. I'm not going to list all of them off because it would take too long to do them for each of the roles. I'm talking about every single officer, not just the parts of officers. I want all our officers to have the skills and knowledge capable to succeed and fulfill their manifestos and excel in their roles personally and professionally. So I think that kind of covers it. I'm happy enough to go in depth if people want to talk to me afterwards, but in terms of going through them all, I don't think I'd have enough time to go through them all, because there's 5 officer roles, unfortunately, and I say I've got about 3 seconds left at this point.
6, but close enough. Fair play to you.
6, I mean, you know. But no, good question, and it's definitely training officers is something that's very important, because I've been an officer myself and I've been thrown into the deep end, and it is extremely difficult, and that's something that I want all the future officers to not have to do and make it as smooth of a experience as possible. Great.
Okay. Thanks, Connor. Thanks very much. Okay, so that's 2 for our presidents. We've 2 for our vice presidents now. So I'm going to bring in Owen. I'm going to bring you in first, and I'm going to pose this question to you. Okay. So and then I will give the same question to you, Jennifer. So Owen, mental health is included in both manifestos. What mental health activities are you planning to organize for students during your time in the union? So you have a minute to answer that, starting now.
Basically, I want to make sure that all the students in NCI understand that there is an amazing free service that we actually have, and counselling service that it's free in NCI, and I want to make sure that all the students are using this to their full advantage, because I know from personal use and it's fantastic. So what I want to do basically is bring in more guest speakers that will talk about mental health and like kind of help break down the stigma of mental health, and also have different kind of like workshops as well, and also bringing in kind of like trainings where it'll help people deal, because I know personally I've been in situations where I didn't know what to do, where a friend approached me and I didn't really know how to approach it. So I want to bring in the correct training so that all our students in NCI are able to deal with these situations if they arise. Okay, great. Thanks, Owen. Jennifer, I'm going to bring you in now. Do you want me to repeat the question, Jennifer, or are you happy enough?
No, it's okay.
Okay, well, your minute starts now. Yep.
So I kind of want to do very similar things to Owen as well. I want to bring in trainings, workshops. I also really, really want to push the Connect Cafes. The Connect Cafes are organised by Dee already, who is up in the counselling services and learning and teaching. I really want to encourage students to go to learning and teaching as well, because the supports are there. I also want to include a lot more campaigns around mental health and encourage students to get the right training so that they are equipped with the right knowledge and skills to help someone who is suffering at the moment or is just struggling with college or just life in general. So, yeah, these are so tough.
Okay, thanks, Jennifer. Jennifer, are you happy to stay on there? I'm going to ask you your second question, and then I'll put it to Owen, so I'll let you go first in this one. Okay, so the second question is, you both mention a focus on international students in your manifestos. What plans do you have to increase the student experience of international students? So you have a minute starting now.
Yeah, so like I said in my speech, I want to include national holidays. So whenever there's national holiday on that's something celebrating, I want it to be in NCI as well. I want them to feel like they're at home, and I want more students to engage with this. There's about 80 different cultures in NCI, and people don't know about this, and I want to celebrate it a lot more so that students can feel so much more involved and at home. So this would be over the likes of like Zoom if we can't go into college, doing like a little cooking lesson, or if we're in college, holding something in the atrium where people can taste test the foods or listen to the traditional music or see traditional clothing either. I want people to see though what we have in NCI and what like students can experience. So yeah, thanks guys.
Okay, thanks Jennifer. Owen, I'm going to bring you in. Owen, do you want me to repeat the question?
Yeah, just mind repeating the question quickly.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So you both mentioned a focus on international students in your manifestos. What plans do you have to increase the student experience of international students?
So basically, I love traveling and I love experiencing different cultures. So, and again, as Jen said, there's over 80 different cultures in NCI. So I want to basically celebrate these cultures and show that some people that obviously aren't into traveling and don't get to experience these cultures. So again, by having different events and making sure all our NCISU events are more inclusive and more catered to everyone else, where they're not just the standard kind of night out, where we actually have incorporated some Bollywood into the NCI nights out, or some African, or just some reggae, or some just different kind of cultures and stuff. And I also want to make sure that the international office and work close with them and basically make sure that that Irish students are able to attend their events as well, so they can experience the cultures as well.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Owen. That's great. Thank you. Okay, so that's the questions for the sabbatical roles of president, vice president. We're going to move on to the part-time roles now. And each of these, I'm setting my timer, that's why I'm looking down. Apologies, don't look on the screen. Each of these candidates have 30 seconds to answer the questions. So I'm going to bring in Naomi first of all. So Naomi, the first question to you is, and then I'll ask Lorcan the same question. Or sorry, I'll ask Sean the same question then. So online clubs and societies activities have reduced drastically because of COVID. In your role as a clubs and societies officer, how do you plan to increase and motivate clubs and societies online activities? So you have 30 seconds starting now.
So that's actually where my off the month contest idea comes in. So this is kind of going to encourage everyone to make sure they're definitely working hard and plan events and following through on what they want, because when you guys do it, I'm going to reward you for it. And, you know, I think that's so important. Again, you just need to work hard, and I'm going to give you what you deserve for it. You need to be rewarded for the hard work.
Okay, great. Thanks, Naomi. Sean, I'm going to bring you in now. Do you want me to reread? Sorry,
No.
Let me say the question again. Sorry. Okay, so your 30 seconds starts now.
Yeah, so basically we've been through a whole year now of online semester, so online clubs and societies activity. So there is a lot of experience to go off. So I think the first thing I kind of implement is getting in touch with each of these clubs and how their events went, getting a full kind of lapse of what happened. And then from there, it's giving it more attention, better production, more even money towards it. Like, for example, like Roz mentioned, using Twitch for live streaming is like, it's a great service, very interactive. So implementing things like that, just better production, better involvement. That's what I push.
Okay, great, Sean. If you hang on there, I'll get the second question to you, and then I'll bring Naomi back in. So the second question is, fully training clubs and societies presidents sets out the ground for the year. How do you plan to ensure presidents are fully prepared to run their club or society for the year? So 30 seconds.
Yeah, so I'm aware that at the start of the year, presidents and vice presidents are sat down and have a day to just and they kind of fill out forms, and they kind of just are told, I think, the general gist of running a club. Whereas if you make this day more of like a proper training day, like I mentioned before, the diversity and inclusion training, things like that, where they can come out of it with certificates for actually running a club. I think that when you have this kind of training and backing, you feel confident to run a club. So if you have these certificates, the experience behind you, someone above you giving you a right push in the right direction, I think that's how people will feel comfortable and prepared to run a club for the year.
Okay, great. Thanks very much. And I'm going to bring you back in for that question. Do you want me to read that question again for you?
Yeah, go on. Why not?
Okay, so fully training clubs. That's okay. Fully trained, make me work here. Fully training clubs and societies president sets out the ground for the year. How do you plan to ensure presidents are fully prepared to run their club or society for the year? So 30 seconds.
Okay, so actually, again, one of the points on my manifesto is to get more president training. So I know we do start training at the start of the year, but I want to get event training done, creating content training and leadership training. I just think these are going to absolutely tremendously improve societies, because if the president is trained properly, you're going to have a successful society and a good committee behind you. And that's what it takes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's all the questions for clubs and SOX officers. I'm going to move on to communications. I'm going to bring Shiva back in. Hi, Shiva.
Hello.
So 2 questions for you, Shiva, and you have 30 seconds to answer each. The first one is, it's very important for the union to communicate any new developments to the student body. How do you plan to communicate these changes with students? So 30 seconds.
So the way that I want to plan this is because the way I actually want to plan this is there's not enough time given to students regarding events. Sometimes I've been in a situation as a first year student that I find out on the day that Rag Week is happening or Shag Week is happening and I have no time to do this. But I want to communicate, especially if the constitution gets in, I'll communicate across that all social media platforms. I'll even send emails and I'll send a survey as well regarding events and at what time they would like the events to be posted at, because I feel this is very critical for students, especially full-time, part-time and post-grad students.
Okay, great. Thanks, Shiva. And the second question then is, how do you plan to increase online student engagement? So 30 seconds.
The way that I plan on doing increasing online engagement is basically by being a face for the SEO. I don't want to be behind a screen. I want to be there for you guys. It was shown to me this year that didn't happen. There was very little communication on social media platforms, and I want to bring people in, but I also do want to send surveys, and protecting GDPR, I'll do this through the CC option on emails, and I'll make sure that everyone knows what events are happening, and I want to make sure there's entire engagement, and I'd love to do live Q&As and vlogs with current clubs and society presidents.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's everything for the comms role. And now just on to the last one, which is entertainment. So Lorcan, I'm going to bring you in first for this one. Okay, Lorcan, your first question is, if we continue to stay online, what are some of the ways you plan to be creative and inclusive with online events? So 30 seconds.
Okay, so how I meant to do online events. So throughout this whole year, I've attended and ran loads of online events, quizzes with the Five-a-Side Society, with the music sock and the dance sock. We also done a collab. With the fashion sock, I also done a collab. I've also done online charity live streams. So that raised €2,000 for the homeless. And yeah, that's it basically. I've plenty of experience running online events this year, and I've more to learn.
Okay, great. Thanks, Lorcan. Going to bring in Roz now. Roz, do you want me to read that question again for you?
No, I'm thinking okay.
Okay, 30 seconds. So starts now.
Yeah, so I kind of did mention on my manifesto that I obviously want to bring in some like fitness events, craft events, music events, stuff like that. And I do have some experience with it from running the Music Society this year. And I just feel like this year there has been a few, but I also want to up the amount of events, and I want to keep them very regular. If at all possible, I'd love to keep them weekly. Obviously, if this gets too much, I can put it down a bit. But yeah, I think that's it.
Okay, great. Do you want to hang on there for the second question? So,
Yep.
So the second question is, NCI is a college with a student body that consists of a wide array of cultures, heritages, and ethnic backgrounds, which aids in making inclusiveness of paramount importance for every aspect of college life. If elected, what measures will you be taking to encourage inclusiveness within events run by the SU?
Yeah, so basically, another point that I did have on my manifesto is I'm really into bringing more international students into stuff. And some ways I want to do this is I want to have a blog post about cultural events that are coming up. I have talked with the International Society and Office about this, and we're going to collab and make dates of, they're going to tell me what dates these cultural events are, because I'm not obviously I don't know them all. So I'm going to work closely with them to have this, and hopefully I will get a better idea of these events and bring them up to date with everyone in the college.
Okay. Great, that's your time there. That's great. Thanks very much, Roz. Okay, so Lorcan, I'm just going to bring you in. Do you want me to reread that last question?
Yeah, please. Be much appreciated, Eric.
Yeah, no problem. So NCI is a college with a student body that consists of a wide array of cultures, heritages, and ethnic backgrounds, which aids in making inclusiveness of paramount importance for every aspect of college life. If elected, what measures will you be taking to encourage inclusiveness within events run by the SU? So 30 seconds.
Okay, so have more inclusive and diversity in events. So we're basically, as you said, NCI is full of many different cultures. So if you bring the culture to the mainstream events, it will attract more of the international students. So the likes of Holly Festival, which is a festival for good over evil, the Wali Life Festival, and then you have Afro Nights for Afro Nation and stuff like that. Unbelievable genre, Afro beats and stuff like that. And then Reggae Nation as well, and Brazilian Nights, which also adds to more culture events around in the college, and hopefully it'll bring everyone together and everyone will learn more about each other and become more open-minded about other students in the college.
Okay, great. Thanks very much. Okay, so that's it on the question side of things, and that wraps up the candidates talking for today and the hustings. I just want to finish up on a couple of points. First of all, I just want to express from the college's perspective and from the elections committee perspective, I want to just say a massive well done and congratulations to all the candidates. That's a very difficult thing to do, to stand up in the Kelly Theatre as we usually would be, or to come up online here and make those speeches and put yourself forward. So absolutely fantastic, well done, and virtual round of applause to all of you. I wish we could be in the Kelly Theatre to give everybody a proper round of applause. A virtual round of applause to all of you. You've done absolutely fantastic and you all spoke very well. It is very hard for them all to be online. It's very hard to campaign online. So I'd encourage anybody watching as well, please do check out all of the candidates' social media pages, check out their manifestos, talk to them, ask them questions. I know we don't have time to get through every question today, so please pop over to their social media pages and contact them directly and ask the questions that maybe you didn't get answered today. If you are looking for any of this information or their manifestos or how to contact them, go over to ncisu.ie, which is the SU website, and you'll find the link there on the top right for elections, and you'll see all the information from the candidates as well. So please do go over and understand and read their manifestos and learn about them and learn the great work that they're planning to do if and when they get in next year. This is also a reminder to vote. Voting starts on Monday 9 a.m. and will run until Wednesday 9 p.m. Okay, so it'll be fully open 24/7 from 24 hours a day, or fully online, fully open to say from 9 a.m. Monday morning, Monday the 1st of March, and we'll close at 9 p.m. on Wednesday the 3rd of March. For everybody that's wondering, because obviously we're not on campus to vote, so you're not coming on campus to vote, you will receive an email to your college email system, your college email, should I say, from the college system, which is the one we're using as EVASYS, and it will allow you to choose your candidates. You will be able to drag and drop them from the options box, from the listing over into the choices box, basically, and you'll be able to put them in order of preference as well. And we'd ask you to exercise your vote for each role. You'll get more instructions coming through to your email prior to polls opening as well on how to vote. But please do keep an eye on your student email, 9 a.m. Monday morning, and please do vote and encourage your friends, classmates, anybody you know in the college to vote as well. It's very, very important for everybody, and that you exercise your votes, most importantly for you. Yeah, so that's it from us. Again, just want to say thank you very much to all the candidates. You all spoke extremely well. You've done yourselves proud, so well done. And yeah, best of luck in the remainder of your campaigning and in the polls and the voting next week. Results will be announced again via YouTube, same way, similar way, on Thursday the 4th of March. And again, more information about that will be sent out to you and will be all over the SU social media as well, so please keep an eye on those as well. All right, thanks very much everybody. That's the end of the hustings for this year. Well done. Thank you.